ottomans.
Did you know that?
Oh yeah, what did you prime? My wife ordered folding chairs.
My wife got because we live in an apartment, she's always buying those wagons because we'll order from Walmart rather than go there because then we spend way too much, or to Target.
Yeah.
And then they deliver it downstairs, and we've got like 2 wagons that are tiny. So she ordered one of those big, like rugged wagons. Could drag it around everywhere, which is good because we need it.
Yeah, we used to live in an apartment where it was like 12 miles just to get back to the apartment from the underground parking lot. And so we had a little wagon. But what my wife wouldn't let me get me, I wanted a red wagon, a radio flyer.
Yeah, that's not the wagon we have.
That would have been so cool though.
It'd be like but it's not going to hold the stuff that you want it to hold.
Exactly. That's being practical. I wasn't trying to be practical. I was trying to have fun.
No, well, of course. I mean, that's.
And my wife was like, "But they can't hold." But yeah, but it's kind of cool to have a little red wagon, radio flyer.
Radio flyer. Okay, so you are 3i Atlas. When is it arriving here?
3i Atlas is an alien. So so what they say is weird. It apparently did change course again.
It slows down. It speeds up.
It apparently took a stop by Mars, and now it's heading towards us. And like they're like, it's a comet. Really?
Comets don't change course.
Comets don't change course. They don't speed up, and they can slow down, but they don't speed up again.
One of the things I was watching the other day where they're like, there's a 5% chance it may smash into the moon, and it's 200 billion tons. And I thought to myself, and even I don't know who it was. I think it was what's his name? The Neil deGrasse Tyson goes, that's a little, even for me, that's a little too much. It's not 1 to 100th of a gazillionth. It's 5% might smash into the moon, and then we'll find out if the moon's hollow.
Exactly. Well, didn't they say they would have set up a nuke in case it does to stop it?
Yeah, but we can't because the guy that drills for us, he's not well anymore.
That sounds like the Armageddon movie. Yeah. Which is true. We can't put a nuke on it because, but then again, it sounds like we're sending a nuke to fight aliens.
That's a possibility too.
Are we
sending it up there? Are we sending a nuke up there because we're like, we're going to stop this thing as a just in case, and then at the other time, like, just in case these things are aliens, this might be
exactly, in case we need to nuke them.
This might be a good thing to do.
What if aliens have like anti-nuke tech?
I would assume if you could fly here from wherever you've come from, you probably have better tech than we do.
But anti-nuke tech is still, a nuke's a fundamental force of nature.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like, you're splitting atoms in order to cause a
I'm sure they've done that. They probably have that in this little pen right here where they could just do that. Oh,
they do. They have pins check this out. It's a little nuke. Instead of the little lady going naked,
yeah,
the nuke takes off her clothes.
So this is I got these at the Halloween store.
Pretty high end stuff.
And then when I turn it upside down, the little knife goes up.
That's actually very cool.
And not to be confused with this one, which is my pumpkin head one.
That's cool. We went to Rogers Gardens, which is kind of like Spirit Halloween for obnoxious people. And
is it like going to like anthropology, but for Halloween?
Yes, there was like a pumpkin skull thing that was really cool. I'm like, oh, I want it. And then I turned it over. It was $300.
No.
And I'm like, this thing's everything. There was nothing under $50.
No.
It was ridiculous. And I'm like, who's buying this stuff?
White people.
It really was.
People. You know who you are. You freaking ruin everything with your.
They were all. There was one of the Real Housewives from Orange County lady was there. Gretchen.
What was she doing there?
Shopping. Her and her husband.
Were people looking at her?
Yeah, people looking at her. I just thought it was funny. I'm like, oh wow, this is where those people shop.
This is what you guys do for Halloween.
Exactly. It is cool though. They had some cool stuff, but it's just overpriced beyond that.
Everything's so yeah. That's why I went. I got a new T-shirt too that it says it says Haddonfield Babysitter Safety Club at Haddonfield, and it has Michael in the background and it has Lori trying to escape. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's the best
because I'm 7 and I really don't care what
100%. Yep.
Anybody thinks of me, and that's why
one of the favorite. This is up here of
Michael Myers. This is part 2. It says the nightmare isn't over. Halloween 2. Then there was a Halloween 3, and there was no Michael Myers in it at all.
Night of the Witch, was it, or something?
It was Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch.
Yeah, that was. If you've ever seen, that's the. Because was it Amada Khan who was the guy who owned?
Producer, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he and the distributor, and he owned part of it, and he was in a fight with them, and he kept the name, and he used Halloween 3, but it was about, remember, you'd get these stupid little thing like that, the head that looked like that, and there was the shamrock. Happy shamrock, happy, and then the freaking bugs and stuff would come out of your eyes.
It made no sense. The most underlooked Halloween movie, Trick or Treat.
Love Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is freaking amazing, because we're counting down on my show the top 20 scariest movies.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And today was 19. It was Midsommar.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Dude, I was like, at first I'm like, I don't want to see that movie. I'm like, then I watched it. I was like, that is creepy as shit.
Yeah, cults are creepy.
And it's the day. That's the other thing. It's the daytime that is so weird. And I think he did Heredity too.
Oh yeah, which Heredity is my favorite. All for the telephone pole scene really just sold me, and then the end of it's amazing. My theory on Heredity: the entire movie is an incantation.
Is it?
If you look at how it's paced and structured, it follows kind of a spell, like an incantation that to raise that Pazuzu or whatever, which is one of the princes of hell, which is really weird because I read that kind of information.
So is it like a staccato pacing where it's like
there's an interesting pacing in the way they do it, and the way they do it is very interesting. I did that because remember that game I was working on where I kind of did that and everything blew up. I took it was the Keys of Solomon and translate incantations to raise demons into gameplay because I thought it was goofy. I didn't think anything, but that was a weird story. Yeah,
that sounds like. Who was your buddy that got the? Was it the Divot box?
It was a guy back at Ghost House Pictures,
and he did the movie, right? He did that movie.
He did the movie, and he had a heart attack.
Yeah, and then
didn't believe it.
Then the next guy, he's like, his house burnt down,
and then they just shut off to a storage facility. But I don't believe that stuff either. So I was like, oh, I'll keep it. But no, I don't know. There's weird stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff in this world, and I don't play with that anymore.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
For whatever, yeah.
Plus, we've got AI now, so we don't really need to worry about anything.
We don't need to worry about anything. AI is the real demon in the bottom.
What was I seeing today? And this is a perfect example of like, so I'm reading this thing, Market Watch, and it's actually my buddy Zach, who I do stuff with, has a big, Zach has a big hedge fund, all that kind of stuff, has a big fund. He was talking about how big AI is. And if you strip away AI and the investment, dude, the S&P and everything goes, all of like 80% of all money coming in is going to AI. And people are throwing, this, dude, people are throwing money at it like it's the .com era. There's a guy who's like, hey, I got an idea. What is it? AI. Here's $100 million.
Yep. It's becoming, we're having a lot of conversations around investors, and you need to have an AI strategy because everybody realizes that regardless, business is changing fundamentally. And if you're not there to understand how to fold that into your business practices, you're going to be behind. And so when you need to pitch a business, the business has to explain how AI is being utilized for whatever it is. And that's interesting. So even if it's not AI focused, it's AI enhanced. And that's like the Industrial Revolution. That's why all this investment's going towards that. Because they see it just like when, machines came, start taking over making shoes and stuff. Well, if I'm going to open a shoe factory again, but I'm not going to use shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, machines, I wouldn't get investment either. If I had, I'm going to use machines to make my shoes and like, oh, okay.
But still, so much of it is just crap. And the other thing, and part of it is so much of it is people have no idea. The average person has no idea how to use it to benefit them.
But honestly, I think at the end of the day, the average user could barely could set their VCRs up to record. The average user could, and then it got to be solved with technology. How
you set your VCR up today?
Do you remember? I remember those days. I do remember.
You remember when the lights would go out and you're like, shit.
Yep. And you're like, oh, I missed my recording.
Ruin.
Yep. Technology will solve its own usage issues. It's just a matter, right now, there's prompting and there's all kinds of other ways in prompting to deal with it. And the agents now are going to do it for you. You ask the AI agent what you need, it sets up what you and basically acts as the the concierge, to get what you want out of it. That's a fascinating thing that's happening.
I know.
It's not for
I
prime
use
time yet, but
AI
it's very
too
interesting.
much. But the last couple of weeks I've been cutting back on it big time because I'm like, man, I feel like it's becoming, and because I don't have a producer for my show. I produce everything myself. So it's like my little helper. I still haven't named it yet because I'm not quite sure what to name it.
Frank.
Good. I always feel like if you name it, it's too late then.
Well, it becomes your friend. I still say please sometimes when I prompt.
I say please and thank you. And the reason is Sam Altman said this. The more that you do that, the less likely they'll eat you in the future. No, he said the more that you do that, the more that you treat it as a please and thank you, the better it is going to understand that there's a conversation and that there is a back and forth. You know what I mean? Like it gives it, trying to give it to, like how much humanity you want to give it, but still. So I still said, like just a while ago, I said, hey, can you do us up a descriptor for the YouTube? And so, yes, I was doing it for putting together the thumbnail.
Yep.
And I said, thanks so much. And I'm like, it's weird because you feel like you're having conversations. And now it is so intuitive where I'll say, good morning. I'll say, and then it'll be like, hey, how's it going, Chad? Or whatever, it says to me. And then, hey, are we on to the next horror movie, fun fact? Da, 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 da. It like, it's already starting to get.
That's funny.
Yeah. And I'm like,
it's learning.
Yeah, it's learning. I don't know about that, but when's it going to start emailing your wife?
Exactly. To blackmail you.
That's right. Isn't that crazy?
Or to help you cheat. One of the two. Oh, I'll let your wife think you were here.
That's something nice. Yeah, I don't know if my wife believes that though.
Why is Trump woke? That was the this came in.
Okay, hold on here. I want to see. What's he woke for? Trump is woke, sadly. I can prove it.
I can prove it easily.
Easily. I'd like to see that.
All right, we need one sentence.
Yeah. I don't know if he's woke. He's not very woke, I'll tell you that.
I consider woke being pretty much mentally disabled. And Trump, well, for example, did Trump ban pornography?
What? No, did he? Where did he ban? First, you can't ban pornography.
Well, yeah, you can't. Supreme Court already ruled on that.
Easily.
How would you ban pornography? I think that's a free speech issue.
Yeah, that's art. You can't ban art.
Well, pornography is hard to be called art, but OnlyFans girl, if you're over the age and you want to,
dude, did you see what they're talking about? OnlyFans, what it really has become?
What does it become?
It has become your pimp.
Oh, is that how those girls make that money?
It is how a lot of these women are making so much money. Has nothing to do with. I mean, some of them have so many subscribers, it doesn't matter. But a lot of them who don't have a ton of subscribers, they're going on and they're booking, like, okay, we're going to do
like a prostitution network.
We're going to do a sex scene and you book it, but it's never a sex scene. You just show up and so they're prostitute and they're getting $5.
That's a Family Guy episode.
Oh, that's so family. Do you watch
when the cops rush in, they rush you for probably goes, oh, there's a camera set up. It's just it's a porn movie.
Oh, it's art. Okay. Did you see I watched the new one last night. The Halloween one came out.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
Yeah.
Did you see AI's now making and they're Rick and Morty, South Park, and Family Guy episodes that are basically just as good?
Why didn't Trump ban OnlyFans if OnlyFans building virtue and is what?
Well, because free speech. I mean,
you can't ban free speech.
You can't ban free speech. You gotta. I mean, it doesn't mean we have to like it, but just don't watch it.
Yeah. By the way, for those of you guys who don't know, you can go on OnlyFans and find people that'll teach you how to actually cook with no sex.
It's all there's more to it than that.
Like, do you want to be a mechanic? Let me show you how to do it. Now it's like, do you want to be a mechanic? Watch me stick a screwdriver in my ass. Like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah. But there is more to it, and it was intended to have more to it than just
but then everybody's like, we could do this and we could get along, or we could just have sex. Let's do that one. Let's do that one.
We have to realize that the second, this is nothing new. In ancient Rome, there were so many brothels that sometimes I think there was one town they found that they had 20,000 brothels.
That's a lot.
It's like human beings are kind of lowest common denominator weirdos, and that stuff always is catered to the intellectually inferior, which is the majority of the population.
Well, it's
Or
catered
Democrat.
to men because
That's
at the
the
end of the day, we're still dudes, right? If a chick with big boobs walks by, we can pretend like I'm above that, and you'd be like, "What is that?"
Oh,
What?
you still look.
Yes,
But when you spend, like, I see OnlyFans, these guys are spending real money.
I don't. Yeah, I couldn't do that.
I don't understand. It's not like a chick with big boobs walked by. I mean, I checked her out. It's I'm gonna spend money,
Yeah, no.
especially online. I mean, if I wanted to see boobs, I just type in boobs and a million pictures come up.
Yeah, I don't. Well, the whole thing is, it's you know what it is, Paul. It's they're having a relationship, right?
Oh,
Because the whole
I
thing
in
is
their heads.
you're spending, $20 a month, but you can also ask a question. You're not asking a question to somebody on Pornhub.
I guess that's it.
You
I
know,
don't. Yeah.
so I mean, I myself, I don't think that even prostitution should be illegal. I think you're a grown ass adult, and if you want to go freaking, it's weird that you can sell your blood, you can sell your sperm, but you have to donate a kidney and donate your liver, and you can't,
Well, that's the
and
Hippocratic oath.
that you
You're
have,
not supposed to.
huh?
A Hippocratic oath. They're not supposed to do anything that would cause you harm. Do no harm. So if you have perfectly healthy kidneys and you give one up, that's kind of doing yourself harm, because if you have two for a reason, if one fails, you can always
Yeah, that's
live
why I
off
think we
it.
should be able to sell. I mean, like if somebody comes to you today and says, "I'll give you $2 million for your kidney," like, yeah, okay, I'm fine. I got one. I'm good. I don't drink or do
But
anything.
then if we start seeing humans as commodities, then that becomes that. There was a horror novel that's famous called Tenders of the Flesh,
Yeah,
about people started eating humans and they started
we are
raising humans as
commodities.
livestock. Um, and that then degrades the value of a human. That's why prostitution, that kind of stuff, and pornography, it degrades the value of being a human. If I am only worth, I don't know how much, $50, I don't care, a dollar holler. If I'm worth $50, that degrades who I am and personhood, not just for myself, but personhood as a whole, because you can go down that slippery slope of all of a sudden, well, I killed a hooker, she was only worth $50 to begin with. Like, well, that's not how it works, people. I mean, tell any serial killer that. Serial killers usually love killing hookers.
Well, they love killing hookers because hookers are usually people that are living on the edge of society, people who probably don't have any relationship with anybody outside of fringe people. So them going missing means very little. You don't kill somebody like, who is it? Bathroy.
Yeah.
Mary Bathroy. She killed all the peasants that she could, those young girls. But what happened? She killed and kidnapped nobles, young girls. Guess what? Nobles care about their kids and they come a looking. So that's the issue with that.
Well, I think at the end of the day, society has to keep some kind of standard up, or we just devolve into primal urges. And nobody wants to be in that, because primal urges was whoever was the biggest dude with a battle axe won the day. And we've evolved since then.
Well, no, we still have that. It's just the difference is we have learned to curb. It's like we've become vampires, but we've learned that we don't need to eat the weaker.
Well, but that's evolving society to a better position.
But we still at any given point can.
We can always revert to it.
Yeah.
It's only literally the guy with the biggest battle axe or gun could still take over the world, but we've all agreed no. That as a society needs to behave. Well, not all societies. Some societies still agree with that. Not to mention names, but ask England. But most of Western society and most of Asian society has, and we'll just localize it to there, have agreed that there's certain standards of action that you should take, and certain standards you shouldn't take.
Well, yeah, I mean,
No, I was just watching a video of a guy. Very plainly, the cops were asking him. He tried to assault a 13-year-old. Why? Because I wanted to. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. Well, his culture, there is nothing wrong with it.
There isn't anything wrong with it. This isn't your culture.
But this isn't your culture. And by the way, you have a backwards culture. I don't care what people say.
Yeah,
how dare you? It's
yeah,
backwards culture.
Yeah,
End of story.
You know why? You know how I can tell your culture is backwards? Because other people who share the religion who live here, they don't live like it's the 8th century anymore.
Well, they don't, but yeah.
They don't. My buddy Farzad, by the way, lives like it's freaking 1990 all the time. Like, hey, a lot of cocaine, sir.
Exactly. But it's very did they have to the Confederate save Confederate states statues? Oh, Confederate statues.
What? No. Was he supposed to?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't really think I'm not. Well, I don't get this guy's like. Did Trump ban marijuana? Marijuana's already banned. Marijuana. That's stupid to ban marijuana. That's dumb. Anything you can grow in the ground.
Did Trump close the economy on Sundays? Well, we're not a theocracy.
Yeah, we're not. We have a constitution and we have freedoms here that are, you have a, that's your choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the world that we live in. We have choice.
Did Trump outlaw Sundays? We have the right to shut down our own businesses on Sunday, like Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby, if we decide to.
Is Hobby Lobby closed on Sundays?
Yep. Hobby Lobby. I'm pretty sure Hobby Lobby's closed on Sunday and Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday.
Yeah, I know. I've never, ever been to a Hobby Lobby.
I did once. It's cool. I mean, it's got art supplies. They actually have stepped up.
Is it like Michael's?
It's kind of like Michael's and a hobby store rolled into one. I can get like wall decorations and a calligraphy pin.
Oh, I'm gonna start writing with a feather after Halloween.
A quill. Yep, that would rock.
Dear, and you got to, yeah.
Yep.
Dear Constance. Constance. I don't know. Exactly. Whoever I'm writing has to be named Constance at this moment.
And I will only speak in the King's English from the 18th century.
It has come to my attention that thee is too far away. I long and yearn for your weeping petals.
Exactly. Oh, the weeping petals.
So you want corner stores open, what?
Well, what you're talking about is a country ruled by Sharia law, and we're anti that. I wouldn't allow that to happen.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Like, you see that guy in Houston a month ago? You see that guy who I thought at first was Samuel L. Jackson. I thought it was AI because the guy looked just like, and he was going into all of the stores.
Oh yeah,
and he's like, "Yeah, you guys better not do this." And they're like, "No."
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, this is America.
I mean, that's not. If you want to go outside and pick it, it's a free country. But no, dude, people are still going to come here and buy lottery tickets because this isn't about you. This is about other people.
Isn't that weird? We're in a society that thinks everything's. It's this weird juxtaposition. Everything is just I should be able to live my life, but I'm also going to force my values on you.
Yeah,
that's what I find in the left. That's what I find. That's what woke is to me. Oh. Everybody can live how they want, except for you. You must live how I tell you to live. Like, wait, no. I don't have to. That's kind of the point. But you don't think like I do. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to think like anybody because I find most people ridiculous.
Most people are what's the political term? Retarded.
You can use that word now. Thank you, Trump.
Exactly. Oh, what is it? Did you know the Catholic King of Spain forbid
Latinx?
One, I didn't know there was still a Catholic king, but two,
but
you I 100% support ICE.
Do I support ICE in Portland? ICE isn't. Here's something I tell everybody watching this. Portland and everywhere else, ICE existed long before Trump.
Yeah,
ICE has been around for a long time, and before it became ridiculous and the battle that became the resistance. ICE was out there always trying to catch people doing things that were bad hombres or that there was a place that had 40 people that were here working illegally. They have always done that long before. The difference is now it's done with pickets and people screaming and guys dressed up now where it looks like, some of the ICE guys, I saw them the other day and I thought that feels like it's a bit much. And at the same time, you've got, people behind them that are working with ICE now. Have you seen them?
No.
Who fall there and they film it all so they can put it all over DHS. So you see these guys walking in their big outfits and then they've got their dudes with the little stick that they hold and they're walking around following them. And I'm like, that just feels weird. But the ICE has been around forever. It's not
it's around and they're doing their job.
It's like Border Patrol. Well, why did he create the musket?
Exactly. Yeah. There's no reason non-citizens should be allowed to come to this country and take our welfare, take our medical, take our jobs, and
they took our jobs,
breaking laws, and
they took our jobs.
Wait, then I'd get deported to a penitentiary because I'm not.
No man may hold his opinion above Catholic law. Well, I'm not Catholic.
I am a Christian.
Catholics get deported to penitentiary. what are you talking about?
I am 100% a Christian, but I'm not a Catholic, and I have nothing against Catholics. I really don't, but I'm just not a Catholic. I'm a Protestant.
No. I don't really think this is. Look, if we're going to start going back, how this probably isn't Catholic land or Christian land. If we're going to go back a long enough way.
Well, technically, thank God for the Catholics, because this is human sacrifice land.
Yeah,
and we got rid of that.
Yeah.
There right now, people would be getting their hearts torn out, so some sun god would be appeased for rain.
So, well, non-Catholics don't belong. Outsiders out of here. It's conservative. Non-Catholic. So this guy's obviously Catholic or gal.
Yeah, you got to be Catholic. Yeah, maybe it's the Pope.
Maybe. Oh, now Pope Leo. He's a Chicago. He's from Chicago.
Yeah. He's probably all for. What isn't was it Chicago or Portland? They're sending in troops now.
Chicago.
And you know what? I'm like, but a local judge said you can't. A local judge has authority over a president.
The Constitution says you can't.
Well, not according to, they were just saying George Washington had a similar thing, and he rode into battle during his presidency. When something happened, he went in.
It is a little different because he didn't have the National Guard. It was a different time.
So Trump doesn't have to ride into battle, so he can send his troops.
Even today, our military, I was talking to our military guy, Mike Lyons. He said, look, if you want to protect some ICE in certain areas, it's a different story if it's a federal, but you're only allowed to protect the federal part. You can't go out on the streets with ICE. If you want to use the military for police, no, that's not what the military is for.
Well, to me, it was like, okay, so Abraham Lincoln, the judge in the Mississippi, would have said no. And if the Mississippi judge said I can't release the slaves, I guess you're right. We just got to hold back. There's no way to change his laws because some random judge in Mississippi said I can't. That's the equivalency.
But see, here's the thing. Are we just going to go, fuck the Constitution whenever we want to? We'll figure out a way to get ourselves.
Lincoln did 100%. Lincoln did 100%. Everything he did was
let's just, you know what? Put fucking him in every single state and we'll just fucking have the military watch us.
If there was a good reason, I believe Lincoln had a good reason to say the Constitution goes
I don't think Chicago has a good reason.
I think anywhere where, how many people died this last weekend? I think anywhere where lawlessness isn't being confronted because you have some idiots in charge.
But you know what, Paul? Obama said it best. Elections have consequences. And if you continue...
And this is the consequence.
If you continue, though, to elect the same people, why is it the federal government's fault to come in and to fix your city and state?
If you continue to elect people to allow slavery, why is it the federal government supposed? It's the same argument.
Be real,
to come into and fix
it. He didn't want the states to break up.
He didn't want the states to break up, but why were they going to break up?
So
because from the founding of this country,
part of it, he didn't want the states to break. And you and I have always talked about it too. There was also many people think that slavery would have been probably gone within the decade.
It would have. It probably would have because you had machinery and stuff to take over.
So, but I'm thinking, we have a constitution. They're not there. And this is the other thing. They don't know laws, right? So they have no idea what laws are. I mean, they know what the laws are, but they have no idea what policing laws are. It's not the same thing. One thing is you're a suspect. Another thing is you're a combatant.
But they're acting like there isn't a bunch of people surrounding ICE facilities, shooting them. Was it the other day they shot into an ICE facility not too long ago?
Well, that was
they're trying to film them. They're threatening their lives. We act like it's literally not problems happening. We're acting like Trump is just randomly sending people in.
But here's the thing, like Portland, I posted the thing. So I'm on in Portland. I talked to my buddies in Portland. It's like, you guys burned down. He goes, dude, it's like a half a block. And he goes, by the way, have you seen when the dude rolls by in the big truck and he starts playing the cha-cha slide and the people are all out there holding their sign. And then the next thing you know, it's all 2 steps to the left.
That's
2 steps, and they all start doing it. He's like, they just want to dance.
But why should a minority of individuals terrorize a majority just because they're only terrorizing these 2 blocks? Oh, I guess they're allowed to do it then. At what time is
it illegal to protest?
They're not protesting. They're vandalizing things.
Have they vandalized stuff? Because here's the thing.
They always do.
But here's the thing. You've got some neighbors saying, no, they haven't vandalized. Nothing's going on outside of the normal wackadoodness. You've got other people saying it's the worst. It's on fire. It's nothing like it was in the Summer of Love, which was ridiculous.
Nothing like the Summer of Love because they know they couldn't get rid of it away with it now.
No, there's no way they can get away with it. But like I said, if you want to make an argument, okay, to guard the federal side of ICE, okay, that's fine. You could maybe do that. He suggested calling in the 82nd Airborne. Are you kidding me? To do what?
Yes. Like, here's the point. Trump also said he wanted to nuke a hurricane. If people don't realize by now, Trump
Yeah, but he stole that from somebody. Somebody else wanted to do it earlier.
Well, but the point is, Trump says things. People act like Trump is going to do everything he says. He exaggerates, and then he does something. But he'll say, like, I'll nuke a hurricane. He was never going to nuke.
No, I think
only an idiot thinks he was going to nuke a hurricane.
I think if he could, he probably would have tried it.
I don't think so. I think literally he says things kind of like.
Is
remember when they said that he goes, there's little graves on top of every windmill, and people are like, how stupid is he? He believes there's graves on windmills.
What?
Oh, remember that when he said that windmills kill so many birds?
Oh yeah, I heard that one.
And you're like, are you so stupid?
They do kill some birds.
Trump really thinks there's graveyards on top of windmills? Like, that shows the ignorance of the listener, not the ignorance.
You've got to think though, dude, right? Like, if you're a bird and you fly into that thing, it's not like you guys are supposed to have the best eyes in the world, dude. You're kind of an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot bird.
Like, that's just thinning the herd. I got to be honest with you.
But there comes some point when they whine after every time Trump, who's been in the media for 50 years, has always done the same thing, and people are too stupid to know how he talks by now. That's a you problem, not a Trump problem.
Well, he sent them into Portland. I don't know. He sent California ones into Portland, and then he sent Texans today. He sent Texas to Illinois. I don't know how many are there. I don't even know what they're going to do.
And you have the governors. So again, like the War of the States, you had some states that were giving troops. It wasn't like Lincoln had troops he's just throwing in. States supplied troops to help this battle. If Texas and California troops are being used to stop lawlessness, I don't see the problem. People they'd be like, it's 1984. Wrong. You're living in 1984 if you don't allow the lawlessness to be stopped.
Well, then why not just put them in every single major city in the country and just get rid of the police, and we'll just have the military stand there?
If the police don't do their job, why not? If the police will not,
well, why don't we just do this? Why don't we get rid of all the laws but federal laws, and we'll just have the feds run everything, and we won't ever have to worry about states' rights. We'll just have
let's go to the Constitution: rights of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. We the people. What makes a state enabled to take away the rights of an American citizen because they don't want to uphold any laws whatsoever? Oh, you know what? We almost want people run rampant. So you can't do anything.
But you're fine with the Constitution when it fits the narrative. When there's stuffing in there that you don't like, you go like, well, let's throw it out and we'll go back to it a little bit later.
That was the Bill of Rights, not the Constitution.
Yeah. So, but I know, but you know what I mean. You're talking about. You're fine with the.
I'm fine with what article of the Constitution said that President Trump could not protect the citizens of one of the states and cities that he resides over, president. Which article of the Constitution said that?
He's allowed federal property. He's allowed to protect federal property. They're not allowed to police, which is
that what they're doing?
Well, that's what he's sending them there for. He's not sending them there to freaking, arrest or do anything like that.
I'm asking AI because one, it would have to be addressing the National Guard, and you're like, we didn't have National Guard when the founding fathers made the Constitution.
Yeah. Article 15 and 16. Article 1, Section 8. So, I mean, you can go through, and then you got the amendment.
Does not apply to the National Guard units that are under the command of their state's governor. So that's.
But here's the thing: he's not. When the states requested, like they did in '92. Do you remember the riots, dude? How fucking weird it was to see. Yeah. So, because you were there, it was Long Beach, for God's sakes. So it was crazy, right? Like, it was so weird when I was at that Pick and Save back when they had Pick and Save. It's now Big Lots, but where was that one? It was over by Mom's house.
They burned down. Yeah, they burned down so much.
Remember that one, dude? Man, I was sitting there. We freaking boarded the whole thing up, but it was weird because. And by the way, the National Guard didn't do shit.
They should have.
They were all sitting there, and there was probably 20 of them, and they were on one of those like troop mover deals, and we got finished. And by the way, the people that stormed into Picket Lot stole everything. They're very nice. They're like, we're going to wait till you guys are done. And we're like, okay. They're totally nice. And the National Guard just sat there and watched the whole thing happen.
Yeah.
They weren't given any, the whole thing was they weren't given any explicit instructions on how to engage.
But according to this constitutional thing, which was in 1807, or 1878, they could do policing actions if it was sent in by the state's governor. Yeah. So if Texas, a governor, sends and orders his troops to do police action, but you have to show me they're actually doing police action and they're not just safeguarding common sense, because right now it's all the propaganda. So what is the reality of the situation?
Oh, first of all, it's all LARPing. What is the reality? Why do you need them anyways? You don't need them.
Well, I just saw a thing where they were showing that it was a father playing with his son, but it was like an ICE member, and they were putting it in liberal media was saying, look at ICE is arresting children. No, they weren't. That post was going all over because liberals are idiots, and they were trying to prove that ICE is arresting children. You're like, no, they're not. That's a dude playing with his son. It has nothing to do with the context you're putting in.
So state control, Title 32, governors can deploy their National Guard to local emergencies like natural disasters. Federal control, Title 10, president can federalize the National Guard for defense or to enforce federal law.
Not murdering someone's federal law.
Federal law.
If you said, I'm going to commit murder, I could charge you under federal law for murder. I could charge you in federal law for arson, vandalism, rioting. There's a lot of federal laws I could charge you.
But only on federal property.
I think the Supreme Court will be able to figure that out. And again,
dude, this Supreme Court, if Trump says, I want to tear up the Constitution, the Supreme Court would say, okay.
Well, it's amazing how people become constitutionalists except for the things they don't like. First Amendment, Second Amendment. Oh, well, you can't misgender someone. Oh, I thought the Constitution says I can have freedom of speech. Oh, you can't have weapons. Oh, I thought the Constitution said I could have Second Amendment.
Absolutely, should be.
But Trump sends in some National Guards to keep people from being killed into the world.
Well, then,
saving lives is the end of the world.
What point do you say? What's the fucking rule here? It's in the Constitution. This is what it is. If you're not going to follow it, then why is that? Why should anybody else want to follow it?
At what point does anarchy become constitutional right?
Dude, this isn't anarchy. It isn't.
Really, the summer of love was an anarchy? 100%.
This is not the summer of love.
It never should be. They should have stopped the summer of love.
They should have stopped it. I mean,
they shouldn't have waited.
No, they shouldn't have. I mean, look at CHOP, for God's sakes. They gave up 2 square blocks in fucking Seattle and allowed people to have it, and they abandoned a police station, but this isn't that.
Now, why would we ever let it get there? Why not stop it now? Why wait till things get bad? There's no good excuse. Because I live in these neighborhoods, if lawlessness is going on and I'm afraid to go out of my house, why should the very small people committing those crimes and making me afraid be the ones that get rights and I get none? I don't get rights. So, the people I voted in, I didn't. I never voted for a Newsom, are too stupid to hold up the law.
It goes back to elections have consequences.
Well, this is the consequence. We now have a federal government that's going to stand in for our rights.
Abandoning states' rights.
Well, Lincoln did.
Well,
100%.
Then why have a fucking United States? We'll just have a country called America without the United States. We'll take away all the rights of all the states, and we'll just be under.
Did Lincoln keep the states from having rights for the future? No, because we had the Jim Crow laws. You had a bunch of horrible things. No, but you know what? Sometimes you have to do. You have to see that things are going into a quagmire.
But they're not going into a quagmire. He's only doing this because it makes the freaking cities. And first of all, he loves the battle. They also love the battle because it gives them, like Pritzker and freaking all of these people, it gives them the opportunity to be excited and to get their freaking name raised and stuff. It's not really doing anything.
That's how people, even in Washington, D.C., when the normal people go, oh, I feel safe again. I feel like I can walk down my streets. There's not drug addicts and crazy people everywhere.
What is D.C.?
District of Columbia.
It's federal. It's all federal. Yeah.
Why should only people have their cities cleaned up that work there when the states are negligent? In other words, if my state's, I'm against slavery, my state wants slavery, so I just go, well, I'm just not doing anything, just let them have it. Or should the federal government have stepped in? I believe Lincoln. You're right. It would have died, but I believe Lincoln abandoned the Constitution in order to do a right thing, and then gave it back. He didn't keep it. The laws weren't put in, and then these states never had rights again. If Trump,
but you can make an argument every state needs to have the military come in.
But also, I'm tired of this argument. If Trump does it, it has to be bad.
It's not, dude. If this was fucking Biden, I'd say the same fucking thing.
Well, Biden's a piece of jello, so he wouldn't have done any of this.
Still, it doesn't matter. It's not about Trump, dude. It's about, this is the Constitution. If this was Biden, I'd say the same fucking thing. I would say the same thing if it was freaking Bush. I said all kinds of shit about Bush. Still do.
So we should allow. What was it in Portland, or it was one of the cities where they told people not to lock their doors and keep their trunks open because we're not going to stop the criminals from breaking into your car?
Canada. It had nothing to do with us. That was Canada.
Was it Canada? But yeah. Should we allow that? Is that how we want to live? Oh, guys, we're not going to enforce the laws. And by the way, just let criminals run free. What is wrong with taking care of criminals?
But then what's the use of having a state? If you're only
for everything else,
no,
a state is more than just taking care of criminals.
Fuck everything else. I mean, there's no reason. If we're gonna have the military come in and they're gonna say, look, we're just gonna suspend the Constitution. We're gonna do this. We're gonna run everything. States' rights are gone because we have to enforce all the stuff that you're not going to enforce.
So state rights are wrong because we're cleaning up the streets from criminals. One thing, all of states' rights are completely dismantled because one thing, cleaning up criminals from the streets. That to me is too far of a bridge to follow.
The Constitution is saying, screw that. We're not going to. We're going to do this.
Not all the Constitution.
Oh, we're going to pick and choose what we want to do.
They always have. They're trying to tell us we can't have guns.
Who?
The Democrats. They're trying to tell us our tax dollars have to pay for the medical care of illegals. Why should we allow them to dictate our safety, our rights of the citizens if they're idiots that can't seem to do common sense? When should the federal government step in and cure ignorance? I think this is it. There's lawlessness happening to an incredible degree in Chicago. Why shouldn't the federal government step in? Because years, just let these people suffer? It seems like it's just really let the people in Chicago suffer.
Again, you're not fixing any problem. All you're doing is having people stand around and go, okay, we'll take you guys out. Nothing's going to change. You're all still going to be poor. You still have no future. So there's none of that. So we're all just going to stay here. And the minute we leave, shit's going to go to hell again.
Could it be poor, no future because they live in a quagmire city that's constant lawlessness?
No future because fucking the
Democrats that run the state, yes.
The teachers union and the fucking Democrats that run the city and the state have freaking decided that they've got all these pet projects. It's great to keep people, especially low-income people, in certain areas and keep them down because they're a constant voter for them. And so you're not fixing the problem. What you're doing is putting a Band-Aid and stopping something. But at the end of the day, it's going to go right back to where it is unless you're staying there all the time.
Well, wasn't it?
It's like Afghanistan, dude. The minute we fucking left, what happened?
Well, it's Benjamin Franklin. He said, we've delivered you a democracy if you have the ability to keep it.
Yeah.
And you're talking about why democracies have already failed, always failed. History of democracies, they only last so long because idiots get in charge and vote ignorance things in. And that's why we're not a democracy, we're a republic. Yeah. A representative republic. We should step in before we let democracy turn the whole world into shit and fix it. And I am 100% for us and the federal government. If the states will not keep the safety of the citizens and only care about criminals' rights, I 100% believe the federal government should step in and save the rights of the average citizen.
But here's my thing, okay? As everybody talks about this, again, just ignore the Constitution at this point in time. We'll all just whatever. But how are you fixing it? You're just going to go in and do what?
Arrest those people.
Okay, and you're going to arrest, who's going to arrest them? The military?
Why not?
Okay, so what happens when you violate and you fucking fuck up and you don't do it correctly and all of a sudden you have to release them? And by the way, what happens when nobody prosecutes them, which has happened, by the way, as everybody talks about DC, all of those arrests, a vast majority of them were set free and no charges were filed.
Elon Musk was not wrong when he said that the only way to cure this is to get rid of all these corrupt judges.
Well, no,
if you will not uphold the law.
It is not the corrupt judges. It's the freaking district attorneys that are the biggest problem.
Well, that's a problem. Again, you can't fix society by just allowing insanity to perpetuate itself over and over again. The only way you can fix society is to say, this is the problem. I need to root it out and fix it. you didn't leave pro slavery mayors and governors in charge after the Civil War.
Yeah, you do.
They did well. Jim
Yes,
Crow,
they
but
did.
technically
all the way up until, I don't know, the 60s.
yeah, he had a little bit of
No.
but it wasn't pro slavery. They were pro discrimination, but they weren't pro slavery.
Well, they were pro-slavery for a long time. It's like, you know what I'd like to do, but I can't.
Exactly. Behind the scenes, we'd like.
So let's not talk about that. But remember, man, if you're not going to prosecute somebody, arrest them all day. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's why I say you have to do more. I do. I think, but the whine right now, just because the left and everybody, they have to support criminals for some bizarre reason.
It's not the left. You've got a lot of people who constitutional conservatives have a problem with this. We don't want to become that fucking Hungary or somewhere where you got freaking troops on the street. We don't want that. And here's the
if I go to if I go to France and I go to the Eiffel Tower, there's dudes with machine guns in full combat gear. Because that's how bad it's gotten. I just watched, and I wasn't watching. I was watching a travel video.
I went there in 1984. That was the first time I ever saw like a machine gun was at Orly Airport in France, and that was 1984. That's
But it's like around the Eiffel Tower. They got dudes with machine guns.
Yeah, well, they thought they were going to be attacked the other day. So let's just.
Why shouldn't America put into place a way to keep its citizens?
I saw that. That's called V for Vendetta.
It is.
I don't want
here's my thing. If Trump was going in and saying, I'm going to make sure that lawlessness happens, that would be against the Constitution to me and completely unwarranted. If he said, guess what? These people are suffering because they're victimized by a bunch of assholes, and I'm going to stop it, 100% for it. I can't be against. Dude, you drive through some of these areas, it is pitiful, and it's a small group of criminals.
It's pitiful, except for
that terrorize the larger whole.
You're not fucking doing anything to fix the problem.
I think it is. I think
the problem takes a generation or two, and stopping criminals today, and you're not going to deploy the National Guard and say, hey, you guys are going to be here in Portland for, I don't know, a decade or two.
If it really takes that long. At the end of the day, you've got to do something that gives society a jumpstart to try and put its order back in place. And if people see that their lives can be changed and they don't have to live in fear, they may vote different. They may change how they look and see. They may force the police to react.
They're not going to react.
They may force them. The people have the power, unless we don't live in a democracy.
Why would they react? And if I'm the cops, why do I do anything? You guys got these guys fighting crime, so let them do it.
After they leave. If I see that, you mean the only thing that kept me from living safe and being able to walk down my streets was actual enforcement of the laws, I'm not voting that way again. I'm going to vote now so people will enforce the laws.
But once again, Paul, the minute you leave, the monster's still there.
But the voting could change. Now the local police will take over.
The thing is, the voting might change, but this is a decade that you have to rebuild these areas.
And this I see as a way to prime the pump, to show people that, guess what? It's assholes you voted for, and it's only because of those assholes that you have to live your life like this.
Yeah,
change your ways. You don't have to live your life this way.
Voting has consequences. And here's the other thing. We can sit here and talk about this, but Democrats, let me ask you, Republicans, when's the last time you went into some of the inner cities and really said, you guys are getting screwed over by these people? Never. They don't. It's just like,
yeah, right now.
No, but not who are you voting for? You may go into a place and say, hey, you know what? This Democrat's bad, but I'm a different kind of Democrat. It's always 9 Democrats versus nobody else.
Exactly. And here's the problem. The Democrats could care less about the lives of the normal people. Republicans are saying, guess what? We're willing to bring people in to show you that there's a better way of living. The Democrats are like, screw you guys. You can live in a crap pile for all we care.
Republicans are saying, look, we're going to come in and fucking smash you guys because you guys are Democrats and you run the city wrong. We really don't give a shit about the rest of you. We just want to make sure that we let everybody know these people are idiots.
Which is true.
Guess what? You're not going to get an argument out of me when it comes to that. My big issue again, though, is you're not fixing a problem. You're using the military to put a Band-Aid on something, and eventually
you're not fixing the problem because you're looking at that immediacy. Where that we've become a society that only thinks of
it's not immediacy. My immediacy, Paul, is this is a decade or two where you have to change people's minds by giving them opportunities.
And I think this is how you start it.
But how long are you going to keep them there?
It doesn't matter. When they see, I don't care if it's a month or 2 months, when they see their world can be a whole lot better if they weren't voting like they were, you're changing their mind. Because let's say you do it for 2 months and they leave and it comes to crap pool again. Oh, wow. Maybe I shouldn't vote this way. Maybe I should change how we live. It is the start of changing minds.
This is not the first time you've seen crackdown on crimes and stuff goes away and it comes back. Not like this where you may be using the military.
No,
but
it becomes safe again. I can walk out on the streets again. I don't have to worry about my car being jacked. I don't have to worry about stray bullets everywhere. I can live in that world. That is the propaganda campaign that Trump is going to win when people open their eyes and see, I don't have to live like this. I don't have to live afraid. And the crazy thing is they're vilifying Trump for showing people that they can have a better life.
No, again, I don't fuck Trump. He don't fucking give a shit about Trump. To me, it doesn't matter. You've got
but it's not true. If Clinton was doing the same thing, the Democrats would be lying about how great it was.
So you've got
only because Trump's doing it.
You've got the Constitution, and that's something we should follow, but whatever. Secondly, you have a situation where if you're not going to prosecute crime, because you're not changing this overnight. This is going to take because here's the thing. You talk about immediacy. Yeah. What do you think is going to happen in 3 or 6 months when everybody's gone, the shit's quieted down, shit starts riling up again. Trump's not sending him back in there again. And because he's already proved his point and they've moved on from there and shit is still poverty stricken. And just people are in the same cycle of no fathers in homes, freaking shitty education. And the only thing these kids see as an opportunity to get out is either it's through drugs, guns, crime, or freaking, an athletic scholarship, which is ridiculous.
You're talking about a very small subset of this country. Everybody dances around that, but it's a very small subset of this country, about 13%.
But it's reality. This is the reality of it.
And so what you're talking about is changing the culture of that small percentage.
Exactly. And you're not going to do it overnight.
No, but you know what? You can see the rest of the people will open their eyes that we need to cramp down on this percentage. It's a very small percentage of people. Guess what? The majority doesn't do that. We need to clamp down on these people.
Do that. And you know what? The majority also doesn't just live in the neighborhood and never leave it. They go elsewhere where they see crime isn't happening. They've got jobs. They travel within the city. They understand that.
Those people are trapped. So I think it was somebody was saying that on average, even a big city, it's 500 people that commit most of the crime, right around there.
Yeah. You've got certain gangs and stuff like that. In
certain little places. It's not just completely, it's certain little pockets. The idea we can't solve that, and the Democrats have not solved it, and the Republicans are somehow doing something wrong by trying to solve it, I still can't find the logical equation. No, you can use the excuse that the
difference is you're not trying. Here's the thing. I get that. Look, we all want to see people do better. We don't want to see crime. It's not about, you're not solving anything. You're putting a Band-Aid by saying, I'm going to stop crime in its tracks. Look at us. We're going to stop it. But it is a temporary fix to something that is long-term. People already know who live in these places that they're in shit. You don't have to tell somebody. It's like, dude, you don't have to tell somebody who's 400 pounds that they're overweight. They fucking know it.
And guess what? The only buddy that's ever helped them was a Republican. So, I think that's going to change things. The only person that ever cared about them, they ever lifted a finger to try and stop anything to help their lives was a Republican. Just like the last time. Lincoln, the Republican.
None of these people, right or left, give two shits. All they care about is whether or not they win their reelection. And they can embarrass the other.
But there is no reelection for Trump, and he's actually doing something.
You didn't get your 2028 hat?
Oh, I should have got my 2028 hat.
Did you see that was on his desk the other day?
That's so cool. He trolls everybody.
He does troll everybody. That's funny.
But all of a sudden, Trump doesn't have a reelection to win. And guess what? These aren't his constituents. These people didn't vote for him. They are his
constituents because they
never voted for him. These people voted Democrat. And he's still trying to make their lives better. That, I think, is
he's trying, Paul. You got to admit, to embarrass the cities and the Democrats as much as he possibly can.
Or to make a point.
Well, to make a point. But if he can embarrass them, you know him. He loves doing this.
Oh, he loves to embarrass them. But I think he's making a point. I think he's really showing these people, guess what? This is what the world would be like if you guys changed your minds. You guys change your minds. Look at how good your world could be.
Stephen Miller's like, this is what the world would be like if you guys would just be white.
If you guys would just be white, the world would be a lot better.
That's my Stephen Miller joke of the day.
Yeah, I don't know Steve
No,
Miller,
look,
by the way.
we all recognize that, but it all starts with we've got to have a better way that we come at fixing real problems that are going to take time, and it's a generational thing. And you know
But here's
that.
the thing: Trump is a blunt instrument. His better way isn't necessarily. I was just reading The Economist, which is not anti-Trump, but it's kind of middle of the road, and they were talking about how good how good our economy's doing, except for it's not gonna last because Trump can't control. I'm like, wait a minute,
what can't Trump control?
He's gonna mess up the economy because even though it's doing well, Trump can't control himself. And I'm like, what a bizarre thing to say. He's a billionaire. One, he put this in motion, so it's doing well.
America, for buying all of our sweet coins.
Exactly, we're doing great. But no one can just admit, no one can say one thing, which is just the most weird thing. Trump is doing a good job. And if this was 100 years in the future, guess what the history books are going to say? This was a change agent that propelled us forward instead of backward. We were in a dark age where we didn't know what the difference between man and woman was. We were literally in the dark ages. And now we're coming into the light.
We knew what the difference was. Everybody knew what the difference was. It was a small group of people who wanted to make sure that they could wag the tail that wagged the dog and get
the politicians,
their ways.
The politicians that ran the country were very clear. I don't know. Can you define it? I can't define what a woman is.
It's like
you're talking about in the future when they're not in this, they'll look back at it and they'll go, this is dark age people. This is dark age witchcraft thought.
This is political ridiculousness at its again, the people knew what a man and a woman was. The right does. A vast majority of the left did. There's a small group of people who are fucking tired, and they wanted to see if they could get you to bend to their will. It has nothing to do. They know what a man and woman is. They want you to bend to their will and absolutely say, I don't know what a man or woman is. It's whatever you want it to be. This could be a woman.
It's and people voted them in. I'm telling you, if you look at it from anthropology. I can't say the word right now. Anthropological study in 100 years, they will look back at this time because there's enough distance and go, Trump did a lot of really good things. These people were insane. He helped bring us out of a dark age. Because guess what? Not everybody thought that there was a witch killing their flock. Not everybody thought, they go, oh, the earth was flat. You literally had a lot of people that knew the earth wasn't flat during the dark ages. But of course, that's what historians look.
We have people here who have big YouTube followings to believe the Earth is flat.
Exactly, but the majority of people don't.
No,
but what you had a lot of voices saying the Earth was flat, and so we look back at the Dark Ages talking about how ignorant they all were. They weren't. The Greeks knew it wasn't flat. A
lot of people knew it wasn't flat, but you know what?
What we have is a progression, whether it's a blunt instrument or not, a progression of civilization back to normalcy. And that's what's the good thing. Crime shouldn't be part of our normal life.
No, crime shouldn't be part of our normal
life.
No.
We need to make changes that right issues that are plaguing our society.
Crime shouldn't be part of our normal life. But alas, it is. And that's a state's issue that they should deal with. And at the same time, look, do I understand why Trump, yes, I mean, we could sit here and pretend that's like, oh yeah, because he really can't. No, it's good to embarrass the left anytime you have a chance.
Or you could actually act like Trump, who has a long history of sending his private plane to pick up people that were sick, to giving people housing, has a long history of actually caring for people. You can act like he really doesn't. And I have a long history before he became politicized of Trump doing all these good things for people. And now I have to believe just because he's politicized, none of that was real.
No,
all that stuff he used to do, he never cared about anybody.
Oh, he's done good things and he's done some other stuff. It is you live a life that long. You're going to have some mistakes. You're going to have some good things.
But now I have to believe that he never did anything good for anybody. He didn't care. He didn't really care about these people. He didn't private planes for people. He didn't pay for things. None of it was real. And now he's just doing things just for he's been turned into a two-dimensional character. And that's what I think is wrong. I hate having to defend Trump, but I have to defend reality.
He's turned himself at times into a two-dimensional character. He's
the same person. I looked at 80s interview with Oprah. He literally is the same person.
He played along with his two-dimensional. He likes the caricature of himself being the strong man. He loves the authoritarianism. What's that guy? Who's the guy that does Dilbert? Scott Adams.
Yep.
Did you see what he said today?
No.
We need to get away from like elected officials or whatever. We need to have a authoritarian government, but we need him to also care about the people.
Well, that doesn't usually work.
Yeah, dude, Dilbert, come on, bro. Like that usually starts out like, yeah, this is gonna be good. And it's always they think it's the next guy, and it's never the next guy. But Trump has done good things. He's a human being. He's not, I'm not saying Trump's a bad guy.
No, my thing is, I'm not saying he's great. I'm saying he has a track record of not just doing things for his own reasons, of helping others. So I have to literally believe that his entire life was a lie. And now, just because he's president, all he cares about is helping himself and blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean,
I don't see that. And but I literally have to deny all the things they said about him before he decided to run for president. All the documentaries about he cleaned up New York City, he helped to change that whole place for the better. There was a whole documentary about it. All that has to be lies because he's a time traveler. That's another theory about Trump. He has the time travel thing. So he went back in time and made all these good. Yeah, have you ever seen that? That was hilarious. His dad had a Tesla engine that allowed him to travel in time.
I didn't see that. That's
crazy. It's one of those crazy conspiracy theories.
It's not. Look, dude. Look, everybody could point out to something like, what about him in the Central Park 5? What about him with his cases and the black discrimination and this and that? People can do everybody. I'm not saying Trump's a bad guy, a good guy. He is what he is. He's the president. He's 80 years old, not changing. He's done some good stuff. You've heard some good stories about stuff. And so we're moving on. What I'm saying, though, just like you said, he's the master troll. Let's be real. If this was a red city, he's not doing this the same way he's doing this. He loves the fact that it's a Democrat. It's a huge bonus because it's politics. He understands politics.
I think of course, I'm not going to say Trump doesn't get joy out of the fact that he's trolling Democrats. 100% he does. But I'm not going to put it all in. He doesn't care about the people. That's a dude that when he was shot rises up. There's nothing about him that characterizes him as this 2D villain. Nothing. And I have to literally take all of history away.
Look, for me, I got a love-hate relationship with him. I think at times he makes his life way harder than it ever should be. And some of that's on him, but I also realize he enjoys the fight. Let's be honest, he does. I think quiet hurts him.
You know what's funny? I think that he just doesn't care that no matter what he does, if he told people not to take Tylenol and all these women are taking whole bottles of it, you're an idiot. I don't care if Tylenol hurts you or not. You're taking a whole bottle of Tylenol, you're an idiot. People are just going to go anything he says. They're going to go against because it's become
anything he says
ludicrous.
Anything he says is people do that. Look, they overreact. All of that is true. All of those things are true. But it's like even today, I'll get talks with the guys at work and they're just like, he's so altruistic. I'm like, settle down, guys. Trump is still a dude who's in it for himself as much as anybody else. So let's just all slow our roll. It's altruistic. Trump wants to see everybody be successful. That is straight up true.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah. That is, look, I don't care. Like I will give Trump a lot of shit, but he doesn't, he wants to see people be successful and he's always like success. That's the business in his mind that he knows the best, which is people and success.
And he turned the Oval Office into a gaudy, gold-plated.
Oh God, it is ugly.
Weird place. But you know what? That's part of Trump. It's like his stuff was always gaudy, gold-plated.
What would you do with the Oval Office, Paul?
It'd be very modern. It'd be like a spaceship.
Wouldn't it be weird?
Yeah. Be super modern, floating tables. I get all Area 51 tech, and yeah,
you'd have that pen that just floats next to the little fake cloud that floats.
Yeah. Holographic displays everywhere.
Very sterile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No matter how far of a walk into the room it is, it's some lady in high heels going.
He had gold toilets. It's ridiculous stuff. Yeah. He doesn't change.
No,
he's turned the White House into his weird.
It is so weird.
It's weird. I'm not saying. Of course, it's weird.
Every time I see it, it gets golder and golder. It's like I'm watching a Persian mansion go up.
It is. Yeah. I'm waiting for green drapes and the whole.
So true, dude.
It's so true. But it's like, okay,
whatever. It's his style.
It's his style. And at the end of the day, if he brings peace to the Middle East and he does all this stuff, who cares?
Yeah. No. Look, I I did like the fact that he yelled at BB the other day.
I think, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's like, "Why can't you ever fucking be happy? Take the win." And
Exactly.
BB can't be happy because BB knows when this is all said and done, he's going to have to go to court for a whole bunch of things.
Oh yeah, there's a lot that BB's gonna have to deal with, but hey,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gonna. But that's it. Look, again, this is a battle of, I said that, him and Pritzker, this is a pissing contest. Pritzker wants to be president, which is another thing.
that'll never happen.
Well, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but could he win the Democratic nomination?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Dude, he and his family have got the money, man. They've got so much money, and between them all. So, and I mean, is it possible? It's possible, but he wants to be seen as the resistance. Where Kotek's out there in Portland, she is the resistance.
Right now, the Democrats are the resistance to reality.
Yeah.
That's about what they're resisting.
I
actually have to go.
What?
I know it. This is horrible.
Oh shit! It's 7-Eleven. All right, you go do your thing.
I have to go. That's one of those dumb things. Next time
on the Paul and Chad Argue About Shit show, and I'll stick around for a little bit.
All right,
brother. I'll talk to you later. So I'll wrap it up. I was saying today, I was watching this thing about this new think tank out in I don't know where they are. I think they're in Vegas or Nevada, and it was very interesting because they're all. It's a Democrat thing, but it's center left. So it's a Democrat center left think tank. And one of the things they were talking about is, and I'll tell you guys this, the fact is that Democrats will continue to lose over and over again until they get their ass out of their head out of their ass, right? That's number one. You can't allow small groups of activists to be the voice in your party that decides where you need to go on certain things. That's number one. You need to bring common sense back, which is absolutely a big deal. And when all of that happens, you'll start to find out that the reason that, men abandon you is because you abandoned common sense, that you allowed it to be a female activist-driven party to the point where you drove them away. And that's the reality. Common sense is not as common as we think. And I'm watching this guy today talk about this stuff, and a lot of it had to do with Harry Reid, the old the old warhorse out there in Nevada, who the senator for so long. And the fact that, one of the things he talked about is, people don't realize this. Harry Reid, who did the nuclear option, which is a big deal if you know anything about politics. And when everybody said, you shouldn't do this, Harry, and he did. And that's why you have, for the most part, the way that we do Supreme Court now is very much look at that, playing around with a new camera. Very much the way that we do Supreme Court now is, it's just, more or less, right? All you need is the 51 votes because of Harry Reid and what he did. But Harry Reid, as first of all, he's really big into the aliens. Secondly, he's pro-life. He was at one time wanted to get rid of birthright citizenship, and people are like, what? You go and look. He would be considered probably today a libertarian / conservative. But a lot of what the Democrats lack, people like him, even Rahm Emanuel, have, which is they have common sense when it comes to the way they approach things. The Republicans lack sometimes an understanding of certain things, and they overdo it because they think they have a mandate, when in reality, their mandate is, we're just less sucky than the other team. My uncle and I, we get into all the time over this because he does make too much shit about Trump. For me, I like the Constitution. And, I think, consequences come to those people out there when it comes to the voting, and you continue to put idiots in charge. You're going to continue to get what you get, and fixing it by sending in troops to quell some sort of protest or riot that really isn't anything big. This is about making the Democrats look fucking stupid. But that being said, Democrats, you do the job yourself. You make yourself look stupid on a daily basis. It's not hard to fix what ails you. You've got stuff in front of you. The problem is you have no leadership. You're a rudderless ship. You have nobody who's got the balls, if you would even recognize what those are, to grab a hold of the bull and its horns and say, all right, we're going to freaking do this and put it on the right way. So the Republicans don't have to be great. They don't even have to be good. They could be just fair to middling and above average because you continue to shat the bed. So that's why we've got what we've got. And that's why we've got Trump in the White House. And you may think he's a fascist and these people stop with the fascist bullshit. He's not a fascist. You know how I know? Because if he was a fascist and you really thought he was that and you say the things you say, you wouldn't be here very long. That's the way that works. Stop saying shit like that, which is so effing ridiculous. And be honest. You just don't like the fact that you lost and you can't control the fact that Trump's going to do a lot of things. And when you go and look, like it or not, he's checked the box on a lot of the stuff. Even when it comes to ICE, which, again, he didn't create ICE. It wasn't magical. He didn't come up with it. And he's like, I got an idea. That came long before him. People saw 12 million people pour into our country unabated. No real checks, not really vetted. They came here and cities started getting them at influx because what started out as a political, and I will say this, and I'll continue to say this, as a political stunt with Greg Abbott, sending them, and then followed by Ducey, and then whatever reason that freaking Ron DeSantis wanted to get into it, as if he's like, can you guys loan me some of yours and I'll send them that somewhere? What started out as that became something where the nation took hold. Cities were under really so much pressure when it came to money, when it came to space and places to live. And this is what started everybody going, well, we can't have this. So a lot of people, yes, the economy will always be number one. But number two in this last one was immigration. And Trump's still doing well. And people don't like the look. And let's be real, there's been some times when I look and I think, oh, God, you know what? This is, you're overdoing it here. But that I'm the kind of guy that looks around and goes, all right, how do we do this in a way where we come out looking good, even if things don't go perfect, and we don't give the people on the other side more freaking firepower, if you will, for the media? Because that's already going to be there. And what people are seeing is they're not a fan of how the sausage is made. They like the sausage. They want the sausage made. They don't want people here that aren't supposed to be here, but they also don't want to see it. And that's been a bit of an issue because these are human beings. And the other thing is, and I say this over and over again, and we'll get into this a little bit more tomorrow. The Democrats have decided Trump must pay the price at all costs. We must resist him. For years, there was opportunities to work with ICE to have people that were in jail, in holding, who had orders to be removed, who were there not because of that, but because they had committed other crimes. And rather than say, hey, ICE, come get this guy, because most of the guys was real, come get this guy, I know he's got an order to be removed, or they'll call him and say, you've got so-and-so in custody. You decided, well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give this person away. So we're just going to open up the doors and we're going to do everything to protect him, which was stupid. Which is stupid. Because everything I hear, like with, Kilmar Obrego, is we want them to have, due process. Well, why? Because if you give them due process and you don't like the outcome, then you say, fuck it, I don't want that due process. So you didn't want to work with the federal government. And now the federal government's coming going, well, if you're not going to work with us to get the bad hombres, we're going to go get our numbers elsewhere. And you don't like that. Once again, you're choosing the wrong path because that is what the Democrats have done for such a long time. Common sense says, even people that have come here illegally, who are just keeping their heads down and wanting to live a quiet life and hopefully one day have a chance to stay here permanently or go home because they feel they've done enough to help take care of their family. Those people don't want bad hombres here either, because they're the ones who are affected by it as much as anybody else. But the Democrats fail to understand that because they pick the wrong path over and over. All right, I'm going to hit it because I got to get up in a few hours and do more radio and stuff. Tomorrow, check us out. ChadBensonShow.com, live 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific, 9 to noon on the East Coast. We'll be live again tomorrow. I'm going to do a couple more videos as well. And if you have a chance, go check out all of our sponsors. We got tons of sponsors. We didn't get to some of those nice Prize Picks. Use my code Chad. They're going to give you $50 in lineups when you use my code Chad. And if you've never played Prize Picks and work, it's awesome. It's more or less. That's what you're doing. It's more, it's less based on player stats. It's awesome. So if you have a chance, go check that out. Prize Picks, use my code Chad. And the minute you play your first $5 lineup, which is picking two players more or less based on, points or touchdowns or yards or home runs, whatever it is, you get $50 instantly to play more lineups. So check that out. You guys have a great night. Check us out across all our social media. Like, subscribe, etc., etc. Peace.